All right, guys, here we are with the KeyMaster G3, and I'm out in the field. I got called out on this job. This is a 2011, I believe, Cadillac SRX, and the customer's original BCM is here, and he says he has a problem with his power windows. They bought a replacement BCM, and of course they installed this and the vehicle does not start. So what we're going to go ahead and do is use the KeyMaster G3. Definitely head over to our website, globalcommerceca.com, and pick yours up today. We are the first retailer in the U.S. to have this. Full support directly from us as always. Now let's go and clone this original BCM he has and clone it over to the replacement ECM. Bad thing is I completely forgot my adapter when I left out. And without the adapter, I'm going to have to actually pull the chip and put it here. But with the adapter, this job would have been so much more faster. I'm going to superimpose a picture here so you'll be able to see the adapter. All right, guys, just to show you guys how this works, this is the kit that we sell on our website, globalcommerceca.com. You can go there and pick this up. So let me go ahead and open it up. So it's two pieces. This is the push pin style I was telling you about, and this is the connector. So adapter rather. So only one way it's keyed. You just push it in just like that. And at this point with the C4 adapter, you will be able to then line this up as, let me get it in focus here. You see where it says pin 1 is on this side, and you would line it up with the pin 1 here, 1 through 4. And these are identical to the pins 1 through 4 on here, right? So you'll be able to line it up 1 through 4 just like this, as you can see here. All right, so there it is. As you can see, I have it in the D slot, and you can see those pins, and you just seat it in there, and that's far enough. It doesn't have to go all the way down. It's making contact. Now at this point, you'll be able to remove the cap here, and then you will be able to just line up pin 1. Under here is the guide. So as you can see, it has this designates pin 1 to this side right here. So that would be pin 1. And you would line up the pin 1 on the chip, and you would just simply place it on the chip and just push it down. Just light pressure like that. You don't have to force it. You don't want to break these. This is delicate. That's why it has a little protector on it. And once you hold it down, you'll be able to hit read on your scanner and read the eeprom chip. Head over to our website, globalcommerceca.com, and pick yours up today. But basically, I'll be able to just plug that adapter in here, and then just, it's a push pin style, just push it down on the chip. I wouldn't have to desolder or anything like that. But in this case, I don't have it with me. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the chip, copy it, and then pull the replacement and copy it, and also replace it and clone it from the original. So let's go ahead and get started. So turning and cracking open the case, we've got the eeprom here, and this is a ST24C16, if you can make that out right there. So as you can see, there's actually, maybe you can, there's a bevel, and it's on that side. That designates pin 1 on that side. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull that. Right, so I just lifted the chip. Again, you wouldn't have to do these steps if you have the cable, the adapter that we sell over on the website, globalcommerceca.com. You don't have to take any risk of applying any heat, because applying heat, you take a risk of actually damaging the chip. So you always want to avoid applying heat to a board if you can avoid it. All right, so I've went ahead and placed our chip in the reader with the beveled side to pin 1. And now we're going to go ahead and connect it to the MP001. We went ahead and connected our MP001, and we have 12 volts power coming in. I'm just connected to my 12 volts power supply. I've got, okay, and then from here, we're going to connect this to the DB25 connector right here. So now we've got the DB25 connector plugged in, and going to go ahead and power the unit. Now here we're going to go to Programmer, eeprom, MCU again, and we are going to, okay, this is an ST, but I noticed on the ST they did not have all of the chips currently in there, but we can find it under Atmel. It's pretty much the same chipset, and that's a 24C16 right there. So we're going to do a start, and like I said, the first time you connect up, it's actually going to update your MP001 if you've never used it before. It's communicating, and there it is. So we're at the programmer. Let me go ahead and click guide so you can see what this looks like. And this guide is actually pretty good, guys. So you can pause this at your leisure and take a look at it, and it shows you the schematics and how to connect everything up. And this tells you what these are for on the alternate board. And here are the chips, explaining everything to you. Very, very excellent, good guide, good quality pictures. I love it. So there it is, and ours is actually 24C16. There it is, 2K. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna go back, and we've got everything connected up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a connect. We're connected. So now, if my pins are everything touching correctly, we should be able to read it. It's doing a test. Pin connection abnormal. Okay, that's pretty cool. I really like that. Let me go ahead and check this. Now this is pretty cool, guys. Look at this. It's actually real time. So what I'm actually going to do is just push down on my chip a little bit, just light pressure. And as I do that, I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3. Do you see that? So it's actually it's real time updating. I'm just going to use my pen. So that is pretty cool. I really like that feature. You know exactly what's going on when you have an issue. So I'm going to hit escape, and it's asking me for a file name. I'm going to go with the default and tell it OK. Operation success. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read it again, guys. I always like doing a confirmation on your read. So I'm going to read that again. Tell it OK. There it is. All right. I'm going to go to hex editor and look at this data. So we go over to this tab. Now, one thing I will say, Obdstar, I would like to see a verification read option, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be very easy for you guys to go ahead and add up in there. So we have an options to do a verification read. We'll read the eeprom again for a second pass and verify that the data is the same, because sometimes you can have a loose bad connection and have a bad read. And here is the data that we just backed up. Okay, so this looks good. I'm going to open the other one. I'm actually going to compare it as well. I'm going to press load, and I'm going to load this one, 4727, which should have been the first read. Tell it OK, and I can see the data actually looks the same, right? Which is pretty cool. I like that. I like, you know, the live data polling of the actual chip is actually going to help a ton to make sure you have a very good read, guys. I really like that, but I still want to see the verification option. But I would have to say this is the first for a programmer that I've seen that has that live data to show your connection to the actual chip. All right, so now we have our original data backed up. In fact, let me look at that VIN number if I can see that here. Okay, here's the offset with the VIN number, and it's 3GY, last 4, 5214. So I'm going to go to the truck and just verify that. And here we go, 3GY 5214, that is correct. All right, I've replaced the chip. Now I'm going to clean that up and pull the donor chip and back up the donor chip, and then write our original data to this chip. And this will make it a one-to-one clone, so both of these BCMs will be able to start the vehicle, and he will have his replacement. If the diagnosis they did was correct, his window should operate if this BCM is also good. Right, guys, I've removed the donor chip and I've already seated it in. By the way, this is just push. You just push down like that and it locks into place. Now the chip, as I removed it, might be a little bit out of form, so that's why sometimes it requires just a tad bit of pressure for it to actually hold in place. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go back to function, and then we're going to tell it to read. and we'll see if we need to apply a little bit of pressure to that chip. Yeah, so there's no, let me go ahead and, yeah, it wasn't able to read, so I'm going to go ahead and go back, let this error out. Yeah, so let me do connect. Actually, I had lost power for a second, so let me go back, come back in, start. I might have to disconnect the MP001 and connect back to reset it if it doesn't connect. All right, so we connected. Now I'm going to do a read. So we've got, as you can see, 2 pins. We're not making good contact. So I'm going to just apply a little bit of pressure on, let me put this in a better spot. 1 second. So I've got some pressure on it to make sure all the pins are making good contact, and I'm going to tell it to escape. And there it is, it backed it up. Going to give it the default name. Now I'm going to tell it to write, and we're going to load it from a file. And we're going to load the first one that we did, which was, I believe, the one at the bottom. So there is the file name. Tell it OK. And it says writing data. Write success. I'm going to go ahead and read it back. And I'm going to let it save it. And there's the file name, 824. And let's go to hex editor. And we'll see if we see our VIN number at this point. There it is, 3GY 5214. All right, so that looks good. All right, so now I'm going to remove the chip, replace it, and now we're going to try this in the car and see if it starts. All right, I went ahead and replaced the eeprom, put that in place, and now, moment of truth, we're going to go ahead and connect it up and see if it starts the vehicle.
Yeah. Right. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a... Let me get the damn key out. It is on. Oh, come on, bitch. Oh, boy.
Won't come on.
Let's see here.
On the remote, the door locks work?
Yeah, see?
Okay, that's a good sign.
Damn sure is. Okay.
All right, guys, when I started this job, I totally did not pay attention, but the BCM that they got, the replacement, was a complete different part number. So that means the software loaded on the BCM is not compatible. It's not the same as the one for this vehicle. The clone was successful 100%. That's why the remote does work, but the software on the BCM is different. I would have to reflash it with SPS, and if this BCM is 100% compatible, it would work. The ignition switch was able to be turned on, and I could test, and the windows still did not work. Only the driver's window was working from the switch. So their diag was incorrect. And this is the error message I was getting in the BCM, and that's related to the firmware that's loaded on that BCM, which is incompatible. It's probably from a normal key, and this is a push to start vehicle. All right, so they did decide to have me come back and do a diag. I actually went and did a diag. I've found a problem. I made a video on it. It's going to be coming soon. So if you're interested in seeing why the windows are not working, they tried replacing a lot of stuff, the window regulators, everything. It's really an interesting problem. I was debating on leaving this video because some people might misunderstand it and think that the clone wasn't successful. I actually pulled the chips and compared all the data was correct. The clone was successful. It's just the incompatibility in the firmware, but that wasn't the issue anyway. It's a whole different electrical issue. So the premise and everything showed on this video is valid and will work if you have the same part numbers so that the firmware that's loaded on it would be the same. Alternatively, you can flash it with SPS2. And I've got many videos on the channel showing you how to do that. There's more videos coming. We got some all keys lost, everything. Stay tuned. And remember, if you didn't know this, now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Click that thumbs up button, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.